Everybody, welcome back to the Ride with Lance, and today we have the Lectric XP 3.0, and I want to tell you a little about this bike, and I'm gearing it mainly towards the seniors because that's the crowd I hit the most on my channel, and I know a lot of seniors, a lot of older people are looking to get their first e-bike, and I'm going to show you why I think this is a really good option to look at when you're considering a new e-bike. Let me go over a few of the specs first to get you a little more familiar with this bike, and then we'll get into why I think it's great for seniors, okay? So this is, of course, a 20-inch wheel bike, but what this has over the other 20-inch wheel bikes that you see around is this only has 3-inch tires, 3-inch wide tires. The other one's 4-inch wide tires, and it does make a difference. I think I said it in my last video that on the 4-inch wide tires on 20-inch rims, when I go into a turn, it wants to try and turn for me, and I think it's because of the 4-inch tires on a shorter rim. Now this is 3-inch, and I don't get any of that. Just a nice steady turn, cruise, doesn't want to try and steer for me, so that's great. So that's a good positive for the older crowd looking to get their first bike, or maybe you just haven't ridden a bike in a long time and you don't want any surprises. All right. Okay, so this comes with a 500 watt motor, not a 750 watt motor, but that doesn't mean it's lacking on power. I have compared it to my other two 20-inch wheel bikes that have 750 watt motors, and this doesn't seem to be really any slower than those. So for daily cruising around the neighborhood, going to the store, riding with your friends, riding with your wife or your husband, this will do the trick. All right, so this does come with front suspension and hydraulic brakes front and rear, and that's important too, because hydraulic brakes are much better than mechanical brakes. For some reason, mechanical brakes kind of feel a little mushy, a little more weak when you're trying to stop, maybe stop hard. But these have hydraulic brakes on 180 millimeter rotors, and they work really, really nice. They don't lock up like unexpectedly, but they do stop you. They stop you really good. What else we got? Okay, so it comes with a comfort seat. So you may not have to go out and buy another comfort seat. I don't need to change this one. I usually change my other bikes to a nice comfort seat, but this one is comfortable enough. It's nice wide, it's nice padded, feels really nice, but it also comes on a suspension seat post. So you don't have to go out and buy a suspension seat post because this is not a full suspension bike. This will do it. This is not an off-road bike. I mean, you can take it down dirt trails, but you're not going to be taking it on mountain bike trails. So with this and this on street, paved, dirt road, you're going to be fine. You're going to be comfortable. And what else we got? We have, this is a folding bike. I'm not going to fold it up. But if you wanted to fold it up, you just pop this lever here and you would just take this, see if I can get it, and you can fold it down, fold it in half. Also, what's nice about this, especially if you have limited space for storing a bike and maybe you need to store it inside, the pedals also fold. Just like that. To help you not nick your door frame or your walls if you have to take it down the hallway. Okay, let's go ahead and put the handlebars back up, because there's something else about these handlebars I want to show you. Okay, lock it in place. Now this is also telescoping. So this bike is made, you could be 6 foot, I think 6'2", and you'll still be fine. You may feel a little tall on the bike, but you can see how much adjustability, because I am 6 feet tall. And you can see how much I've had to put the seat up so I get a nice riding and my knees aren't coming up too high. But you can also lift the bars up. You can lift up, see now they're all the way out, and you can go about to right about there. And that's about where I had them. And then you can lock it. But if you're a shorter rider, these can go down. See, that can go all the way down. This can go all the way down to there. This goes down to there. And you have a bike that is easily accessible. Now on this bike, it also has a battery, a 48 volt, 14 amp hour long range battery. So this one I got the long range on. And it did come with baskets front and rear. Now I left the rear basket off for now, but in a few minutes I'll put some movie magic together and that basket will magically appear. But for right now, I'm keeping it off because I want to show you how easily accessible this bike is. Okay, what else about this bike? Well, it comes with fenders front and rear, and these are metal fenders. They're not plastic fenders like most other bikes have. They come with the tires are kind of a cross between a street tire and knobby tire, but what they put on here makes this bike quiet. So when you're riding it, you hear mainly the air blowing through your ears and not the sound of the motor or the sound of the knobbies humming. This is also a 7-speed, and it comes with a front and rear headlight. See here, headlight here. You can see the headlight's on, and the tail light. Now the downside of this is they're not attached to the brakes. So when you pull the brakes, you don't get a brake light that comes on. It's mainly like a running light to be seen. Okay, enough about the specs. Let's talk about why I think this is a great bike for seniors or those who want their first bike and are a little too intimidated by like the 26-inch fat tire bikes or bikes with very powerful motors. But let me show you. Okay, let me lift the seat up some to where I had it. It's right about there. And the handlebars, let's lift those back up to where I had them because this will be set up for me. Now I am 6 foot tall, so yeah, it's going to be a little easier for me to get on a bike like this, but it will be easier for you too. Actually, let me put the seat down to just give you a better visual. Okay. Let me tighten that up a little. Okay. So in this configuration, this is a high step. They also make this in a step through, which means this bar here is actually coming down to here. So you have an easy way to just step through. But even with this is low. This is low. And you can either step over just like this and be like that, or the better option, if you don't have a rear rack on the back, is just to lean it over a little and just swing your leg, just like that. That's why this is a great bike for seniors or those with flexibility issues. You know, it's not like one of these other bikes where the back end is actually this tall and you really got to swing your leg over the back. Now, let me show you, if you decided to get this one with the baskets and the baskets on, what you might be looking at. All right, through the power of movie magic, the basket has suddenly appeared and the seat has miraculously popped up on its own. So there you go. So now, is it still hard to get on it with just the basket on? No, it's not, because you do the same thing. You're only talking about this much more difference. You could just even lower it down a little more if you're still struggling to get that leg over, and just over like that and back up. And you still have the option, if you select the high step, to just step over and you're ready to go. I would highly suggest though, you take a closer look at the step through. The one that's got this bar, but it's lower down there. Makes a big difference. Okay, so now let's say, hey, I got the basket, I want to carry something. Well, here is my Yeti. Now this is the biggest thing I will put in any of my baskets on any of my bikes. I don't want to really go any bigger than this when I'm riding. But does this make it a little more difficult? Yeah, it does. Especially if you have a 26-inch wheel bike, because this suddenly becomes about this high. And if you're not 7 or 8 feet tall, it's going to be hard to swing your leg over the top. I don't even try. That's just, you know, I would really have to lay that bike over to the point where I'd be afraid that this stuff is just going to fall out. So in this case, I'm just going to step over the middle, just like that. And I'm ready to go. But again, the step through is a great option, especially if you plan on carrying cargo like this. You really don't have to worry about the front basket. It doesn't get in the way of anything. But let me pull this out. Now, why else do I think this is a great option for seniors? Well, this is a very smooth riding bike. You know, it's got the 500 watt motor and it's got very smooth power delivery. There is no surprises if you just suddenly twist the throttle. It's not going to go boom like a rocket. And even when you're pedaling and pedal assist, when you start pedaling, that power just gradually comes on. There's no surprise jerky motions where you feel like you're going to pop a wheelie or spin the tires, anything like that. That's what makes this such a great bike. And that's why I believe Lectric says this is the #1 selling e-bike in America. I can see why. And the other thing is everything just seems to work in harmony with each other. The brakes, the throttle, the motor, the pedaling. You're not going to get ghost pedaling. If you don't know what ghost pedaling is, that means when you're pedaling in, say, PAS 5 and you're trying to go as fast as you can, that the motor is going faster than you can pedal, so you're not really pedaling. You're just moving the pedals, and that's keeping the motor going, and you can't keep up. You don't get any of that with this. This, you feel like you're part of it, like you're doing the work too, and that's what you want. You want this to feel more natural, more like a regular bike ride, just with some help from a motor. So what do you think? Do you think this is a great bike for seniors, first-time bike riders, those who just want a bike to cruise around their neighborhood, cruise to the store, cruise with their friends, not looking for a more specialized bike like a mountain bike or a big commuter bike or a fat tire cruiser? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. All right, so that's all I have for today. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you think this is a great first-time bike for seniors or for anybody. All right, I will see you on the next video. Bye.